Governor, what weapons did you carry in war?
Congressman, for 24 years, I carried.
No. What weapons did you carry in war?
What did you carry in uniform?
I tell you what, Governor, you're barking down the wrong tree, okay? You lied to the Minnesotans. You said that you carried weapons in war. That is stolen valor. You know what? My wife served 24 years in the military.
A little bit of respect for the
and
witness.
she's an Iraq war veteran.
You know what I mean?
She was over in the war zone. That's stolen valor, and I'm so disgusted with you. And so are the people that you served with.
Point of order.
That's stolen valor.
Halt just a minute.
Stolen valor. You didn't carry weapons in war.
Congressman, my 24 years was public for
many years. Will you apologize for lying?
Objection.
Will you apologize for lying? I'm disgusted with you. I'm just...
Mr. Chairman, the time is expired.
Congressman,
You called half Trump supporters Nazis and fascists, and you know what? That's why the Minnesota Police and Peace Association did not support you in the last election.
That clip was an absolute political crime scene. A career lawman just dragged a sitting governor through his own record, his own words and his own lies, and the Democrat had nowhere to hide. From riots labeled peaceful to cops being smeared as Nazis, the hypocrisy was so loud it set off alarms. If you want to see what accountability looks like when a Republican finally says, enough, hit like, subscribe, and stay right here. Let's watch the full clip before I give you the full breakdown.
Thank you very much, Governor Walz. Thanks for being here today. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I ask you to keep your remarks brief. I got a lot to go through. As you know, I spent 23 years as a law enforcement officer in the state of Minnesota. You know that, right? Do you know that, yes or no?
I don't know how many.
It's not a trick question.
I don't know.
I'll answer it for you. 23 years in Duluth.
Thank you for that.
So, Governor, do you recognize this picture?
I do recognize the picture.
Briefly describe it to us. What is it? What's going on?
These were folks, I believe the people in the picture now are incarcerated in Minnesota.
It's a precinct 3 burning down because of your decision. Was this a peaceful protest? Was this a peaceful protest?
The gentleman standing there?
Was this a peaceful protest?
It was a criminal act that people were prosecuted for.
So it wasn't a peaceful protest, right? As I watched lawlessness devastate Los Angeles this past week, I was reminded of your failure to protect Minnesota from similar riots. Governor Walz, on May 29th of 2020, during your own press conference, you described your response to the riots during the 2020 Summer of Love as, quote, an abject failure. Governor, I couldn't agree with you more.
That's out of context,
And on May 17th, 2025, you were at the law school, graduating Minnesota Law School, talking to the graduates. And we've talked about this. You called the enforcement of illegal immigrants a modern-day Gestapo. You've been asked 3-4 times if you would rescind that, and you won't. Will you rescind it? This is like the 5th time, yes or no?
Congressman, I was talking to law students about due process, and I said you took an oath to due process.
Governor, was there a violent al-Shabaab terrorist who entered our country illegally, arrested in Minneapolis last year? Yes, there was. Were there 3 illegal child predators arrested by ICE in St. Paul earlier this year?
I certainly hope so. That's their job.
Yes, there was. Are the officers who arrested the al-Shabaab terrorists or the child predators, are they Nazis or the Gestapo?
The tactics of wearing masks.
They're not.
The tactics of wearing masks.
Unidentified. Why did you tell us that they were the Gestapo? Do you believe that any of the violent illegal immigrants I have mentioned have a right to be in this country?
I don't know what their immigration status was.
They're illegal, violent criminals that the ICE took off the streets of Minneapolis.
You did not say, Congressman, what their status
Governor,
was.
last week, law enforcement officers in the state of Minnesota took 900 pounds of meth off the streets. Do you support that?
We certainly do.
Do you know that ICE assisted in that arrest, those arrests and investigations? Do you support the assistance of ICE in that enforcement action? Yes or no?
I can't speak to that because we were not included in the briefing.
You don't know if ICE was part of it? I'm telling you they were.
I don't have that data. I would have to trust you.
Will you apologize to our constituents and law enforcement officers for making them and their families less safe with your incendiary actions?
I'll congratulate them that they helped us work on the largest pension bill for Minnesota law enforcement in 30 years.
Claiming my time. Governor, what weapons did you carry in war?
Congressman, for 24 years, I carried...
No. What weapons did you carry in war?
What did you carry in uniform?
I'll tell you what, Governor, you're barking down the wrong tree, okay? You lied to the Minnesotans. You said that you carried weapons in war. That is stolen valor. You know what? My wife served 24 years in the military.
A little bit of respect for the witness.
She's an Iraq war veteran.
You know what I mean?
She was over in the war zone. That's stolen valor, and I'm so disgusted with you. And so are the people that you served with.
Point of order.
That's stolen valor.
Halt just a minute.
Stolen valor. You didn't carry weapons in war.
Congressman, my 24 years was public
Will you
many
apologize
years.
for lying?
Objection.
Will you apologize for lying?
Objection.
Hold on. Pause.
That's not questioning a witness. That's not questioning a witness. You think
Point of
so,
order.
huh?
State your point, Mr. Rankin.
No, you're yelling
State your
at
point.
him.
There we go.
You're hectoring. You're hectoring. You're hectoring.
State your
Governor, you didn't carry weapons in war, did you?
State your point.
You didn't
Proceed.
carry
You
weapons
got
in war.
24 seconds.
Did you?
Congressman, you know I
didn't carry weapons in war, yes or no? You lied. Governor, what rank did you retire at? What rank did you retire at?
Congressman, I served my battalion as the command sergeant major.
That's not the question I asked. What rank did you retire at?
I retired as a master sergeant in
Okay,
EA.
here's your coin that says you're retired at a command sergeant major. That's your challenge coin.
It says I wore the rank.
That's right. You didn't retire, did you?
I did retire after 24 years.
Here is a picture of your coin, your challenge coin. I'm disgusted with you. I'm just...
Mr. Chairman, the time has expired.
Congressman,
gentleman's time has expired.
You called half Trump supporters Nazis and fascists, and you know what? That's why the Minnesota Police and Peace Association did not support you in the last election because you're missing in action.
Gentleman's time has expired.
On behalf of the folks from the land of rocks and cows, thank you. Now you're back.
That was a demolition, plain and simple. Pete Stauber walked into that hearing with facts, backbone, and receipts, and Governor Walz walked out politically bruised. This wasn't some dramatic stunt. It was a former cop confronting a governor who let his own state burn and then had the nerve to call it peaceful. When a police precinct is on fire and criminals are running wild, that's not a protest, that's surrender, and Walz even admitted it was an abject failure before trying to run from his own words. Then came the Gestapo comment, and that's where this crossed from embarrassing into disgraceful. Walz compared ICE and law enforcement to Nazis, the same men and women who arrest terrorists, child predators, and drug traffickers. Stauber forced him to face the reality of what he said, and Walz couldn't even bring himself to apologize. That tells you everything about how little respect Democrats have for the people who keep your communities safe. But the moment that dropped jaws was the stolen valor exposure. Stauber didn't just accuse him, he proved it. Walz claimed he carried weapons in war, yet never served in a combat zone. He claimed a rank he didn't retire with. That's not a slip-up. That's using military honor as a political costume, and for anyone who actually served, that's unforgivable. Stauber, with a wife who actually went into a war zone, had every right to call that out. What you saw here was the difference between real service and fake virtue. One man spent decades protecting people and telling the truth. The other built a political brand on exaggeration, excuses, and smearing the very people who keep Minnesota from falling apart. Stauber didn't just win that exchange, he exposed exactly who Walz really is.